Welcome to the Tool Review channel. Today we're taking a look at the Klein Tools 7-in-1 flip socket set with handle. Now to start off the video, as you can see, you have the traditional Klein tool handle that comes on most of the traditional screwdrivers that Klein has. But this handle on here is a little bit bigger than the traditional screwdrivers and the traditional multi-bit screwdrivers. But you can see right here, you do have the Klein name stamped into the rubber of the handle right there. And then if you rotate the tool around, you have your model number, which is 32900. And then you have some safety warnings up here as well. And as you can see, you have the nice rubber gripped handle. And on the end of it, it does say 7-in-1, and it has the 6-point nut driver or bit driver or whatever you want to call it modeled on top. So if you do have it in a tool bag, you could quickly identify what tool it is. Now I have noticed after some use, after a while, this paint or whatever they use to highlight these does tend to wear off. So that can be an issue if you have multiple different Klein screwdrivers in your bag and you use them fairly often. Now coming to the business end of the tool, you can see you have 6 different nut drivers, and this one up top right here, this 1/4 inch and 5/16 is actually a 3-in-1 nut driver. Now you're probably wondering what makes it 3-in-1 within its 1/4 inch and 5/16. We'll get to that in a minute, but you can see they are all color coordinated, which is nice. And as you can see, they do flip around, and how you get them out of here is you just push down on here and you're able to pull the impact rated adapter out, and then you can just slide off the bits right there, as you can see, no problem. And you just pull them off. It is a little bit stiff at first, but they do pull off very easily. And then you just pop this one forward, and you can see it has a very strong magnet. And this is the adapter that holds all of the bits. You can see you have the Klein name on there. And you have a little screwdriving logo or emblem laser etched onto there. I'll show you how that works in a minute, which is the 7th tool of this nut driver or socket set kit. And then you can see you have the model number right there of this little bit right here. It's 32907, and patent pending. And then you have some more safety warnings, and I believe the H6 on there is for when the tool was manufactured. So we'll get to some of the functionality of this tool. So as you can see, the bits slide on and off very easily. Now, like I said, this is Klein's saying that this is a 3-in-1 tool right here. So go ahead and clip this guy on. Now this is the only socket that'll do this. All the other ones, they slide all the way on. But if you put the bit on there, and as you can see, the magnet is fairly strong, and you only push it down one bit, as you can see, the magnet for holding your screws is fairly low in there, and that is because you can put a bit on there if you wanted to, and use this as a screwdriver. And as you can see right here, all you have to do is just reinsert it into the tool, and you can have a nice little screwdriver if need be, and then you can just pull that guy out, and then it will clip down the rest of the way to where the magnet will hold a little screw, as you can see right there. It'll hold the screw fairly tight, and it's as you can see, it's a fairly strong magnet. You definitely have to use a little bit of force to get that screw out of there, but it does work fairly well. And then you just flip the tool around, and it will slide into place. As you can see, it is a fairly strong magnet, and you just push it down, and there is where the nut driving bit is for that. And you can see if you had a self-tapping screw or something and you wanted to use your impact, or you just want to drive it in with this, it'll hold that very nice and tight. So go ahead and pop that guy off, and we'll go ahead and snap on some of the other bits. And as you can see, it's fairly simple to do. And if you wanted to, you could put them up on the rest of the bar right there, the adapter, to store them so you don't lose them. But as you can see, it's fairly simple to click the bits in and out of this tool. And so that was the 11/32 and the 3/8. Now we have the 7/16 and the 1/2 inch. As you can see, clicks on there and clicks off there and pulls off, no problem whatsoever. And you can arrange this tool however you want it. So maybe you're needing the 7/16 for right now, but you don't need the 11/32 or the 3/8. So you can just clip those guys back on. As you can see right there, you just clip them back on, and then you can put the bit back in the tool, and it holds all the bits so you don't lose them fairly nicely. Or you can just pop them all back off, and you just pull them off at the bottom, as you can see right there, and then you just pull that last one off. And you can also use them in an impact if you really wanted to, especially if you really, I would assume that this tool is mainly for like electricians working with panels and stuff like that, where they have, a lot of different size screws, and maybe if they're, tightening stuff down with their impact and they didn't want to, do it by hand, you can just easily insert this into an impact, no problem. This is impact rated. So go ahead and clip these bits back on. And that one's just rolling out of the background there. So go ahead and clip those back on. As you can see, they slide on fairly easily. Go ahead and put all these guys back on. And then we will go ahead and bring an impact in here. And we'll show you what it looks like in the impact. We can get it to lock in there. So we'll go ahead and zoom out. And then we'll move it up. So this is what it would look like in an impact if you wanted to use it in an impact. Honestly, kind of looks kind of goofy, but if you were using all of the different size nut drivers or each one of these different size sockets on a daily basis, it would be nice to have, you know, one tool that has a bunch of the tools that you need rather than having to constantly switch to different nut drivers or different sockets to, you know, put some screws in or put some bolts in. So overall, this is definitely a nice tool from Klein. Now, like I said, the screwdriver handle, or just, you know, the handle in general, is a lot larger than, you know, the typical screwdrivers from Klein. So here's just a standard screwdriver from Klein, and as you can see, the handle is a lot larger. As you can see right there, it's a lot larger than the standard screwdriver, and it also is a lot larger than the normal multi-bit drivers. And here we have an 11-in-1. As you can see right there, the handle is fairly large. So it's going to be more on par with the handles of the heavy-duty nut driver, and I believe it's going to be the same as the, I think it's like the 6-in-1 nut driver, and possibly that other nut driver that they make that has like every size imaginable on there, but it's not impact rated, it's like chrome finish. I'm not really sure on the model number of that one, but this is the Klein 32900. It's a relatively new tool from Klein as the time of making this video. I did pick this up from Home Depot, which seemed to be the only place that currently has it listed. But I'm sure, just like every other Klein tool, once they get it listed up on the website, you'll be able to see what other Klein retailers are going to carry this tool as well. So overall, it's definitely a nice tool from Klein. It's definitely kind of odd, especially for someone like me who does a lot of heating and air conditioning. You only mainly really use the 1/4 inch and the 5/16. Sometimes you run it at 3/8 and 7/16, depends on if, you know, you're pulling a blower motor off of the blower housing, or if you're just putting some like unistrut and stuff like that together. It all depends, but you mainly use 1/4 inch 5/16 for all of the screws, either on an AC or if it's on the furnace. It's always going to be 1/4 inch 5/16. Just depends on the manufacturer. That's really about the only bit side I would use. I don't really have a use for 11/32 or like a 1/2 inch. Not something common I really run into, but definitely is a nice tool from Klein. Like I said, I'm almost positive it's more geared towards electricians or people installing a lot of, you know, different size bolts and screws of that nature. But that's going to do it for this video. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to leave them down in the comments section below. And if you would like to see more content like this and haven't subscribed yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you did enjoy today's video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. But that's all I have for this video. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video to be uploaded.